Hello and welcome to Sprightly Park, scenario number 33 in the original RollerCoaster Tycoon from 1999 Corkscrew Follies expansion pack. What a mouthful that is. But today's goal is to have 1,500 guests in the park by the end of year 3 with a park rating of 600. And it says this elderly park has many historical rides, but is badly in debt. Well, how badly in debt, you might ask? $250,000 is the loan amount currently. And of course you're going to be paying interest on that. I don't know exactly how much it is, but I would imagine it's probably pretty significant. We're going to find out at the end of the month. But you can see the company value is a negative number, which is, probably not a good thing. Probably not. Let's get the lay of the land here. We got a miniature railroad that goes back to the back of the park. We've got this ride called Halitosis, which is a hilarious name for a roller coaster. We've got this side friction called Shooting Star. We've got the scrambled eggs twist thing. We've got looks like dueling monorail cycles. We've got a boat hire. We've got a Ferris wheel. We've got this ghost train named Haunted Train, and then, just normal, whatever. But let's open this back up. These rides are really old and also breaking down. 36 years ago, this merry-go-round is 40 years old, and we have one handyman and 4 mechanics. They have they've got little patrol areas for these guys. So old rides break down a whole lot and also end up causing a lot of problems. That's so loud. I gotta turn my headphones down. But they end up causing a lot of problems when guests get tired of them before they get old enough to be nostalgic. I think these are probably past that point. So they're probably actually attracting them because of the age. But what I'm going to go ahead and do is these flat rides, we're just going to rip them out and replace them because, they're just going to break down constantly if they're this old. And this is the favorite ride of zero guests. Nobody cares about the merry-go-round. So goodbye, merry-go-round. But it is always good to have those, so I will go ahead and pop this back in place. Hit that open. And it is free because this park is a pay-per-entry park, $15 a head. And, we probably should raise this, but I like it when these things are nice, even numbers on the income from admission. So I'm going to bump this up to 25 right off the bat. That'll keep that increment nice and even there. See if these guys don't turn around. There's no reason for them to turn around because, honestly, this is a pretty decent park already. This seems like a pretty good design. I don't know what the stats are on it. Oh, wow, okay. 4.3 on the Haunted Train is actually pretty high for one of those ghost train things. And then Halitosis, wow, okay, 6.5. Now, we can also, because this is RCT2 we're messing with now, this is impossible for us to adjust both of these. But I'm going to leave it at pay per entry, and then we also have these things here, the shops and stalls. And you already know. We're going to put in an information kiosk, and we're going to charge a lot of money for these guys. We've already sold umbrellas. It's not even raining. Okay, so $5. Tell you what. I'm going to go for $10 on the umbrellas because, they're not paying for rides. And we're about to have a rainstorm, so that's how that's going to go. We're going to pop in the back of the park near here. Another one of these, and of course that's going to be the same price because we already did that. You want them to have any opportunity to spend money possible. You want them to be able to have that. So that's looking good. But I do want to replace the slide. This is 38 years ago. I don't know what could possibly break on a slide. I don't know. There's actually probably a number of things that could break on a slide, but it's a pretty simple thing. So we'll see. I don't think it's really losing us any money, but if it breaks down, I don't think I've ever seen a spiral slide break down, honestly. But if it does, we'll replace it. Should be, they're buying those $10 umbrellas. This is broken down. Twist 1, 28 years ago. Let's put it out of its misery and just rebuild it. And then we are also going to need to, do other research. We should look at what we have first, though. I'm not worried about gentle rides. Oh, roller coasters, we absolutely need to research those. And thrill rides. Roller coasters and thrill rides. So we'll just do that. Put that on maximum funding, even though we have basically negative money because of this. Loan interest is already 200. Oh, wait, hold on. We're almost at the end of March. I guess loan interest isn't going to be that severe. You would think with $250,000 in this game it would be like a couple $1,000s a month, but maybe the interest rates in 1999 were a lot more favorable than they are today. I can tell you that much. It's almost certainly true. But I'm going to go ahead and hire a couple more handymen. Get these paths cleaned up a little bit better. And I think the haunted house, 32 years ago, favorite ride of 27 guests. Maybe that's worth keeping around a little bit. Monorail cycles. Okay, yeah. 2.55 is not, you know, stunning. But I guess it works. That's probably fine to leave those there. The train has a single, I think it's one train. I think we could probably justify having multiple trains here, although they're not paying to ride this. So I don't know if it would cost more money, but it would be a little bit more efficient. So I'll tell you what. Let's keep that closed. I guess I just have to, you know, do that way. We have the covered cars. I always like those. 2 trains, 3 cars per train. Let's roll with that. There we go. That thing's, you know, having a dance party there, but I think the covered ones, they might have a bonus in the rain because they're covered. It might treat it as an indoor ride. I don't know. If you know, please do let me know. But we're just going to leave that as it is. I guess I probably should have, you know, tried to space these out a little bit more, but honestly, it's probably fine. They'll get it figured out. Not going to be that big of a deal. But we got to get some cash coming in. Absolutely must have cash. So that's going to, you know, for this style of scenario is going to require attracting more guests, which one thing older rides are very good at in this game is once they are past that, you know, the bottom of the curve for the nostalgia factor, they're very good at attracting guests. But we're also going to have to keep expanding stuff, and we have to have 1,500 guests. We're a third of the way there already at the start, which is nice, but, you know, they have to have a reason to come in here. Reverser roller coaster, I don't really care about that, but neither of these are very good coaster designs. The train is what it is. I can't really justify building too much more of this. I guess we might be able to charge money for the rides too, but I feel like it's probably better to just try and attract these guys through normal means. And I see trash on the ground. It's pretty... Oh, we can make Mr. Bones. No, we need to have some more trash cans in different places. I always like to put those on slopes, just because you can't really build much else of anything on slopes in this game. And it's very, very simple, very easy to just make sure you have some in different spots. But the handyman will take care of that in due time, as one does. And now, see, it's always interesting starting a scenario kind of like in the middle of the life of a park, because a lot of decisions have already been made for you, and there's not really that much available space. And I don't think I want to make a reverser roller coaster unless there's like a compact design that wouldn't... Oh, of course we have these giant things again. And all the ones that have the higher excitement ratings don't have the vehicle designs available. Pretty much most of these. This Reverser Coaster 1 doesn't seem to care. But because we're charging for entrance and not per ride, it's not to our benefit to build expensive coasters, because, you know, you can't charge more money for those based off of excitement ratings. So if I were to build, say, this Reverser Coaster, which actually would fit here decently well, $5,500 to put that there is probably not a terrible choice. It's a little cheaper to go this way, but it's going to be easier to build over here. And this does take up a little bit of a slot in the back of the park, so I guess that's fine. So we'll have a 2-spot there. That's probably all right. Put in our paths. What do we have for the regular queues? I got just regular old blue. No, they're all different colors. Okay, well, there's no blue, so guess what? We're going to use blue. All right, so you know the drill. Just kind of snake this thing back and forth, get it connected, and then bring this down that way. Very easy. Reverser Coaster 1, open for business, free, of course, and that is just the way it goes. So I wonder what the other variety of car was that it said it didn't have. Well, regardless, somebody will ride that at some point. The miniature railroad is waiting for more trains to make their way up here. It's so funny. It's always so slow going up the hill. I wish I had, more trains, but the station platforms can only be so long. And I think the station platforms all have... Oh, there's no drink stall. All right, we'll put in a drink stall. There we go. And again, since they are paying to get into the park and not for rides, we can raise the price on the concessions a little bit. How are we looking? Oh! Wow, that's literally the only food is the fry shop. Okay. I'll tell you what. We're going to put in more of these guys. I don't have any other food, really. I can do a candy apple and I can do ice cream. So, candy apple there. Pay $1 for a candy. Could you imagine going to a theme park in the year of our Lord 2025 and paying 70 cents for a candy apple? I don't think so. I don't think that's even possible anywhere in the world to pay that little. Or 90 cents for an ice cream. How about $1.50? There you go. Captive audience. Another roller coaster on the 6th of May. How are we? We're looking here. 18 people in the queue. I mean, people are... They're sitting there, they're eating, and then I guess they've got somewhere to put the trash because it's not completely all over the ground. I guess we could probably go ahead and put in some benches over here. Let these guys do what they're going to do. See, these trains going downhill obviously have no problem. Going uphill, like, so it's like the little engine that can't make it up the hill. Traveling at a very cute 20 miles per hour, which probably feels really fast on these little narrow gauge railways here. I always loved the live steam locomotives at places like this. Like, Disneyland has an actual full-size steam locomotive, and I think Dollywood at some point had one. Europeans, sorry. Well, you're going to know what Disneyland is, but you probably never went to the glorious, glorious place that is Dollywood in the hills of Tennessee. But I digress. I think some of the Six Flags locations had trains as well. I haven't been to a theme park in a really, really long time, but I always did like riding the trains. So how many people are on the train now? We got 36. Okay, this other train here that's just pulling in is not full. And the queue, like, look at all these people here. The queue for this is full. It says we got 18, 19, 20-ish, and now, of course, they're all getting on the trains. We should see, I guess 36 is full. 6 passengers per car, 3 cars per train, not counting the, the engineer and the, the 18-year-old kid shoveling coal into the firebox of this thing for minimum wage. Honestly, sounds like a pretty fun job for a kid. You get older and your knees and your back start to protest doing stuff like that, but, that would be really fun. At least for a little bit. Halitosis has broken down. Where's my... Oh. So it's only been 8 minutes since the last inspection. It has a safety cutout. Now, refurbished the ride. I wonder if that's... Oh, I don't have money for it, but I wonder if that's worth doing. Let's check our finances. Yeah, okay. The loan interest only being $416 for a month with $250,000 is a lot less than I thought. I thought this was going to be like a crippling debt scenario where you're paying thousands of dollars a month in loan interest. And then it forces you to get creative about fundraising or whatever. That's actually slightly disappointing. But we'll see. We'll see how things go. Shop sales, obviously in March were really high because that's all those umbrellas when it rained. Otherwise, well, I mean, shops are making money. Wait, hold on. What ride is being charged for $9.50 in April in ride tickets? What's it counting as a ride that they're paying for? Because the railroad is free. The twist is free. Halitosis is free. The haunted house is free. Shooting star is free. I've seen star spelled with 2 R's before. That's kind of common, I guess. Free monorail cycle 1. Free monorail cycle 2. The Ferris wheel is free. Versa Coaster 1 is free. And the merry-go-round is free. And the slide is free. And haunted train is free. So what are they paying for? What ride are they going? Is it the boat hire? No, the boat hire is free, which is kind of funny because when you hire something, normally there's a cost involved. But we have the Wooden Wild Mouse, which is a fantastic, fantastic small coaster, relatively cheap to build, usually pretty fun, pretty entertaining. This mini miner, $2,500 if we can find somewhere to put it. And then this one is substantially more exciting, but it doesn't have the vehicle available, so that is what it is. We built all these other things before. Actually, this one's probably, the intensity rating's high, 9.7. Yep. This one's $3,500, but it is a higher excitement rating. I guess we'll just try to put that mini miner somewhere. See if there's anywhere this will fit nicely. I know these are very frustrating to build sometimes because the support limits are very, very, very low. So you have to be very careful where you stick them. And there may be vanishingly few places this will actually, go in here. So if I pop this here, I guess I'll have to flip. This might actually work, but I have to have it in a slightly different location. So that would be fine. This would also be fine, but I'm not going to be able to have the pathing getting in here very nicely either, am I? Okay, so that's probably not a great spot. Oh yeah, I could put it right here. That looks terrible. Up here might actually be a decent place if the path went up here, which we, I guess, kind of can fix if we felt so inclined. But this doesn't seem like a terrible spot for it. $2,600. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'll just do that. That's fine. All right, so we have a path that we could bring across this way. We could bring that one across. The path network in here is pretty convoluted, honestly. But I don't want to go through and, take everything back out. So I'll tell you what we'll do is we'll just put that in there. Go ahead and, do our bog standard snaky queue line thing. And then I suppose I'm going to have to just do one of these numbers here. Then bring that along, go up the hill, and then I'll have that go that way. Very simply, I don't have any other... I could do mouse cars or mine cars, but we'll do mine cars. And there we go. That's going to be open. Give ourselves some benches. And they'll be able to come up here and ride this, hopefully attracting more guests. Which, honestly, the advertising's probably better for that, but... Now that this is 25, let's take a look here. I'm going to start raising it. I don't think I can go straight to 50. But what I can do is I can go to 30. See how they react to that. Now we actually have a pretty decent amount of people coming in here. So now they've done 30. What if we do 40? Okay. That seems good. Do I try 50? Do I try for 50? Let's see if I can get this to a nice even... Okay, there we go. Let's go for 50. Does that decrease the amount of guests spawning? Okay, there's nobody else coming out, but they also haven't turned around and left. The average... I should have done that one. The average guest coming in here has $70 in their pocket. They can pay 50 to come in, they can buy some stuff, and they can go home. What's this guy have? 70. Why does this always have the X off the scope? Okay, there we go. 70. What do you have? 60. Okay. Anybody have 50 or 90? Okay. All right. Well, if they pay 50, all they have to do is come in the park and we get their money. They can do whatever they want. They can ride whatever rides for free. If they don't want to buy the, $10 umbrella, then they don't have to. If they don't want to buy their food, they don't have to, but that gets them in the park, and that seems to be a pretty good strategy. Another thing we could do is sell on-ride photos, but I'm pretty sure none of these allow on-ride photos. I know the wooden roller coaster does, and then I don't know what other roller coasters are going to be unlockable in this scenario, but most of the steel-based ones do. I get the feeling that these are all going to be wooden, or most of them are going to be wooden, so we're probably not going to have very many options for that. But that's usually a pretty good way to recoup a little bit of cash. This seems to be working. The slow train is being slow. Guests are complaining about the disgusting state. Oh, wow, okay. It's a vomit fest over here. Well, you know, these things do happen. I really don't want to give handymen patrol routes because sometimes that can cause problems. However, I think it's time for at least this area to have a dedicated handyman. So, that is what Handyman 1 will do. Plop him up here. Because that's a lot of vomit on the path. And then, okay, nothing really happening here. We might be okay with the rest of them just kind of doing whatever. But yeah, this is definitely a hot spot right here. That is, that's foul. Okay. Classic wooden twister coaster. Okay. So that should be just, you know, the regular wooden coaster with a couple of extra track pieces. And yes, I believe this one is going to have the on-ride photos. Unfortunately, these are expensive to build. And I don't have cash. I haven't tried to see how much more I can have. $265. Wow. Okay, well, if the interest is that cheap, it's probably in our best interest. Get it? Best interest to go ahead and you know, build a couple of these. We have to get the guest count up no matter what. And I don't have a lot of good spots for coasters here. But if we can make it work, we're gonna make it work. I don't hate that being there. This might actually, you know what? Might actually not be a terrible place to pop this. At $8,000, that's a high premium to pay based on the, you know, the stilts. But let's see. Wow, this is a whole $1,000 cheaper just putting it in this one spot. Okay. Wait, that changed. It was 79. Okay, whatever. I'm going to put this here. And we can just extend this path this way. That's going to be fine. It probably would be better if all of these connected in a loop. But, you know how it goes. I obviously am going to run into problems with the queue being, you know, stopped by this one piece of track here. But I think it's probably in our best interest to go ahead and just, you know, get this going. I'm gonna make this red because I can. And this can come in this way. Obviously, that's not going to work there, but this can become. That actually could have been another piece of queue. All right, that works. And now we just have to get this across here, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, see, this is going to have a little bit of terrain adjustment. There is a tree on here, so that will go away. That's fine. I just want them to be able to go up and then connect here. We know based on how this is set up that this will be at the same height. That'll be fine. And then that will be fine just like that. Wood Twister 1 is open. It does not have an unride photo. I probably maybe could adjust this slightly, but I'm just going to leave it alone. The photos probably aren't going to make nearly as much money as, you know, when it rains and people just buy umbrellas, so that's fine. Leaving the umbrellas at $10 instead of $20 is going to make it so that basically everyone can afford to buy one, and they will pay whatever you charge if they have enough cash, so that's fine. This is connected here. We have room to put in maybe some more flat rides if we ever research those. But for where we are now... Ooh, thrill ride. Are we going to get go-karts? Because go-karts are good for a guest sync, kind of, if you have a long queue. If you can't, well, we can, but I'm going to choose to abide by the original RollerCoaster Tycoon rules of you can only charge either for ride tickets or park entrance and not both. Because this is an RCT1 scenario, but... If you can't charge for the go-karts, then they're kind of bad because they have such a low throughput. But if you can charge, then, you know, that's a really, really, really good, reliable moneymaker. Regardless, that's another roller coaster built. got some more guests coming in as a result. Yeah, see, these guys are just marching on in here. $60. Yeah, I haven't found a guy with 50 or less. 80, that's still 60. So I think 50 is 90. Nice. I think 50 is about as high as we realistically can go. We probably should, honestly. Okay, so these trash cans here need to be emptied, or need to have extra trash cans present. We've talked a long time ago about how the game decides to fill trash cans as basically rolling on an RNG table for whether a guest walking past a trash can will put an item in, and then whether or not that item will count as filling a space. And there's only a couple different spaces in the trash can. But the way that it's coded and the way the chance works, it makes sense. It's just a kind of a clever... it's not really technically early video games. This was 1999. They've been around for decades at that point. But clever coding to fit limitations of the software. I mean, he coded this whole thing in assembly. Come on, man. And the fact that we can still play it 30 years later, 25 years later. Pretty stinking cool. Pretty smart guy, that Chris Sawyer. Pirate ship. Okay. You know, I don't really care, but it's a cheap flat ride, and it will get guests in here, so I guess that is okay. And we're already at 8:37 in June of year 1, so I think if we can continue making money, and then, because remember, we can't borrow anything else, we're at the max loan, so loan interest is cheap enough where I don't think we're going to have to worry about it, but we do want to actually make money so we can build more coasters. The tidiest park in the country. Are you sure about that? Well, at least there's no vomit on the floor over here. Okay, still kind of a popular thing. Go ahead and build ourselves a pirate ship in some place where, people don't really care too much. I can find a good spot. See, right here is probably a decent place to put one of these, because, again, people don't really care. That will work. I will put this here. I will put that there. Just go ahead and, I guess, make this one green, because why not? Do that there, do that there. Problem solved. Open it up. Very interested to see what the rest of these things they're going to be researching will end up being, but it's going to be a whole lot of waiting. Which is why this is sped up. Hey, look at this. Is a popular roller coaster. They are waiting in line, and we are full. We got 36 people on. See, I wish I had the money and the space, well, and the coaster type, to build like a big wooden coaster that could have 90-some people on. That would be nice. Those big steel coasters sometimes will let you do that. You remember the, I think it was River Rafts or whatever the ride was we built last time? Last couple episodes where I had 100-some people on it because you could just add as many splash boats as you want. Maybe that's what the ride is called, is splash boats. I can't remember. There's a lot of these water rides. Well, of course, we have none of them. But there's a lot of those rides that just, all kind of run together in the naming scheme. Okay, we don't have any problems with these guys getting stuck. That's good. What's our stats on the, shop stock looking like? Okay. So we're really not making very much money on that. Food and drink, though, looking okay. Food and drink and shop sales are not offsetting staff wages. But, staff is a necessary thing. Park entrance ticket down in July overall, but that could just be because, we didn't do a whole lot of ride construction like we did previously. If August, at August 14th, so say roughly halfway through the month, is only at 1,600, then we may need to look at lowering the admission price, see if we can get some more people in. But they're still coming in, so it obviously can't be that bad. And we're almost at 1,000 guests, and it's still year 1. So I guess the big challenge here might not be recruiting guests, but it might just be dealing with the debt. But there's no mechanism in the park objective for us to even, care about it, except, hey, you can't borrow that much more money, and you're paying another $500 a month for loan interest, which, I mean, isn't really that big of a deal. I feel like that number definitely should be a lot higher. For only... come on. that is a very, very generous interest rate by the bank there. Well, rides aren't really breaking down quite so much as I thought they would based on age. Okay, what did we unlock roller coaster-wise? Okay, the classic mini roller coaster. Hey, what? you know all about El Cheapo. And since they're not paying to go on it, you know, maybe it's a good idea to have an El Cheapo. Maybe. It'd be a very convenient way to take up a relatively small quantity of space. Yeah, okay, there you go, El Cheapo. It's free. What could be cheaper than free? Oh, now I have this ugly 2x2 square here. Well, it is what it is. They'll be alright. They're big boys and girls. Should I put in... I need to... Oh, I don't have a bathroom, do I? Oh, I do have a bathroom. Okay. Balloons? Yeah, how about some balloons? They're not free, though. Balloons are not free, and they're buying balloons. How about $1.50 for a balloon? Yeah, buy some balloons. Make me some money. Did I randomize the colors? No. Now I did. Okay, what's next? Mine Train Coaster. Don't really like building that one. That's fine, I suppose. We got some vomit over here. This trash can still has not been emptied. And I'm going to have to assign territory for these guys, aren't I? I really don't like doing that. Okay. Well. I guess I will just have this guy deal with the front bit of the park here up to this intersection. I guess that's going to be fine. That should be enough for one guy. Just leave that alone. We have not built. We've researched the Mine Train Coaster. I do have a decent amount of cash, but these guys, again, they take up so much space. And relatively speaking, the excitement is not there to justify the size and a setup where you're not charging. But oh, hey, this does have on-ride photos though. A couple of these I see do have that, but I don't really have great spots to put it. Like who paints the supports for a wooden roller coaster that super bright, like Florida Gators blue? Like what? That's exactly what this color scheme is. We're gonna move on. I need to get a better roller coaster in here. There's just vomit on the paths everywhere. We have over 1,000 guests and it's still year one, so clearly this is a winnable scenario. I would love to pay back a lot of this money, but we're just not generating nearly enough. Like we're in the black, sometimes barely, but you know we are. That's fine. I like the the company value number not to be negative. That would be fantastic. I'm not, you know, leveraging private equity here. Favorite ride of 156 guests, huh? What about this guy? 300 guests. Okay, so that's a popular coaster. 95. All right. Well, what was this? Spinning mouse cars. Okay, I don't think we're going to be doing that, but now it's year 2. There is trash on the ground. Where is my handyman number 2? Handyman number 2, you are not in the correct zone, sir. Are you walking toward the correct zone? Are you going? No, you are making bad choices. All right, you will be put right in the middle of the mess. So maybe they do have to be in the space that you assign them to when you assign it, or else you know, they're not going to get anything accomplished. Yeah, there's all these trash cans are completely full. See, this is how you start getting vandalism when these guys don't keep everything nice and clean. They have to have somewhere to put all that garbage. Yeah, I mean he's working. He just keeps going over the same spot over and over and over again, and it is all marked as patrollable areas. So why is he not leaving this? All right, let's pop him out here. I really don't want to have 2 separate guys just for this one spot because he doesn't want to go up or down the ramp. I guess we'll see. He's got enough stuff to do here for sure. I don't know why he's in the queue. I don't think they can vomit in a queue. Oh, so he can go up. All right, well, you know, we're just... Then he just goes up and down and all around, but he doesn't do anything else. All right. Come on, man. I can't just sit here watching you all day. You could go down the ramp and make a right turn. There you go. Good job. All right. We can leave him alone. What did this research? New vehicle now available for log flume. Logs. I sure hope so. I sure hope so that you can get logs on the log flume. But why did it say new vehicle available when that's the only one that... Oh, sheesh. All right. Okay, I wish I had dimensions for this. $4,000. All right, let's see if I can find somewhere to pop this guy. Log flumes are pretty good at soaking up large quantities of gas. Get it? Soaking. Yeah, I know. That was bad. I'm not going to apologize, though. I don't think there's anywhere I can build this. What about on top of the... nope. What about over here? Okay, what about here? Okay, that will work. Okay, so that's $4,800. That'll fit basically... Oh, that's actually cheaper. Alright. Oh, should I save that for a I probably should save this spot for a better coaster. But it is good to know that we can technically fit this in here. Alright, $10 umbrellas. There we go. There we go. Inflate my numbers for my shop sales for the month. Park entrance tickets, since we were keeping track, have kind of evened out. Around $3,500 a month-ish. That's doable. We're still attracting new guests. So that's good. That's nice. Alright, come back to this. Oh, they're out of... Really? They're out of roller coasters and thrill rides? Okay. Shops and stalls, because those make us money. And I'm not going to, you know, worry about water rides, but shops and stalls would be very important. Okay, so the mechanic is where for this? Probably paged like the mechanic on the very far end of the map, and it's just trying his best. Okay, nobody is responding to this one. Oh, they're all. Oh, I didn't even notice, and I probably actually said something exactly about this, and then decided not to, do that again. It is what it is. What have they unlocked? What have they unlocked? Cotton candy stall. Okay, that's the only thing we missed was the cotton candy stall. All right, I always thought that looked kind of strange, but it is what it is. Put that right there. Cotton candy stall 1. Guess what? You're not paying 80 cents. You're paying $1.50 for that. How about that, huh? We need some hot food options that aren't just French fries. That'd be tremendous. Souvenir stalls. Okay, can't eat those. Well, if you really wanted to, you probably could, but... Yeah. Cuddly toys. $2.50 seems fine. Give me some more food options. The train is still popular. I want to see if there's any way I can lengthen... I don't think I can, based on how this track is designed here. Because it sure would be nice to have more than 2 trains, because they seem to constantly be in use. They're spread out a little bit better now, too, which is nice. Still some vomit occurring here. I don't have benches. I also don't think benches have anything... directly to do with... Ah, that was a bad idea. All right, hold on. Hold on. I right-clicked instead of whatever. All right, first of all, don't walk on the tracks. That's a really bad idea. It's a really bad idea. Oh, I sure hope I didn't drop them in the water. Okay, that's going to have to work there. Where is the other guest who is lost? Okay, I'm going to have to unpause. Okay, this guy right here. Get back on the path. Anybody else? Okay, this guy right here. Clyde. You're hungry. I bet you are, bud. I was going to try to pan the camera, and then I just, instead of right-clicking and holding, I just right-clicked and released it, and then the game interprets that as, hey, it's time to delete this. Well, I didn't want to delete it, but the game thought I did. All right. Of course, the game's not. There we go. Okay. Anybody else wandering around in the wilderness? There's a duck here, but no. All right, well, if they get lost, then it'll complain about them being lost, and then we'll know, but I think that problem is probably solving itself as we speak. Any other research? Hat stalls. Okay, those big foam hats. Bring it on. These people need to purchase goods and services. I don't know what services you can buy in an amusement park, but... Man, this thing is still broken down. I thought I replaced this. What a piece of junk. Well, at any rate, we have improved things substantially. Park rating isn't perfect, but it's pretty close. Guests still increasing. We have to have 1,300. Let's build ourselves a hat stall somewhere, shall we? How much are we charging for these stupid things? 60 cents. Profit. Okay, 150 is probably fine, as long as we're making money. Oh, the train broke down. What happened to the train? Safety cutout was... Okay. That's fine. I really thought we'd have more coasters available than this. That's actually unfortunate. Well, we're definitely gonna get all of our shops and stalls out of this. And then I guess I could I don't know, just let it do what it wants. Maybe something neat comes up. But pretty sure we're not gonna get any more roller coasters or thrill rides out of it, regardless. Okay, 24th of July. Oh, I got the turbo button. I forgot about that. Just tell me what this is. Tell me what this... Pizza stall! There you go. There you go. There's some hot food. That just reminded me. You know the Wendy's training videos from like the 1990s are available on YouTube. And one of them is called Hot Food, and the other one's called Cold Drinks or whatever. Maybe that's what... But the cold drinks one especially. It's like they tried to be this like really... I don't even know if I would say they tried to be cool. They just tried to be trendy, maybe. And they got like some like hip hop type song or something in there. It's like, man, this is a, you know, if I was like a 16-year-old in like 1994 and getting trained to go work at the Wendy's, and I saw that, I don't know if I would agree that that was cool, but I don't know. Somebody thought it was neat, and now it's a neat piece of you know, Americana to view on the internet. But regardless. Completely unnecessary tangent. But sometimes that's the fun of these things, right? Just to remember random stuff of complete zero consequence. Alright, give me my pizza. Give me my pizza. The people want pizza. We still really haven't missed anything at all. Okay. Pizza time. If I can find it. There it is. Alright, where am I going to put my pizza here? I guess I just popped that right there. How much are we charging for pizza? $1.60. Get yourself a New York slice. I don't think I've ever had a New York slice for $1.60. Considerably more than that. The tidiest park in the country. I guarantee you there's vomit somewhere, but I actually can't see it. Alright, so all that. How are we looking financially? Still barely making money. The only incentive for paying back the loan is to, you know, get rid of the interest and then have the flexibility to, you know, borrow more money if we felt so inclined. But I don't really, I mean, there's no more giant roller coasters for us to research, so... I mean, do I want to build a mine train one? If I could find a decent thing to pop in here? It's like, none of these are really, really that enticing. Like, this is a pretty decent layout, but... It's only 5.7 excitement rating. See, if I had whatever vehicle would work with this, that would be great. I don't know what kind of vehicle you could have for the mine train coaster that isn't the one that comes with it, but it's fine. What about, is there anywhere... Oh, yikes, I forgot. These things have really, really tall supports you can get, so they will go in a lot of different spots. I guess maybe that is, you know, a reason to celebrate this specific coaster type, but... And I never really liked building these. So this will fit here, and it will interact with a bunch of other rides. It's just going to look kind of ugly. But I guess that's fine. I only have so many places I can put the so many places I can put this stuff without things being in the way. So what if we go to the other side here? What's that? Probably looking a whole lot better coming up here, honestly. So if I put the entrance there, I'm pretty sure this is still high enough where that's not going to be a problem. Okay, let's do that. Let's turn off the supports, and then I will go ahead and build ourselves a queue. That is not the correct spot. There we go. Oh, this is actually tall enough to go directly over the path. Okay. Well, we'll make it nice and long here. Pop that there, pop that there. This can go down here, and then right there, that's going to be perfect. Manic Miner. Come on down, ride the Manic Miner. 3 trains? Looks like, yeah. All right. That should be some pretty good guest throughput. They might not want to write it yet, but once everything, you know, gets tested, so there they go. Coming right on in. Remember, we need to get to 1,500 guests. What else are they even researching? Hot dog stall. Now they're out of shops and stalls. Now they're researching gentle rides. Oh boy. Well, we can probably pretty safely cut off all the funding for research. Go do something else. And I guess we can pop in a hot dog stall somewhere. Right here by the entrance. Probably not a bad spot. $1 for a hot dog. How about $1.50? This thing broke down so much. I built it last year. It's broken down like 5 times. Alright, so this is filled up quite nicely, actually. 54 people on the ride. Love to see it fully occupied. Looking good. And we just have to get over the hump to get to that 1,500 guest count. And I guess we're probably going to just kind of wait and see for some of this, but I don't know what else. So we built 1, 2, 3, 4 coasters. Built a bunch of shops and stalls, and that's about it. We haven't really done very much of anything. And I've got a decent bit of cash. It probably would be nice to pay some of it back, but if we don't get to 1,500 guests without building anything else, we are going to have to continue doing that. I'm just going to, you know, put this in turbo for a little bit here and see if it looks like we're going to get to and stay at 1,500 guests. Then I guess we could just be finished. There's not really too much else we can really do. But I mean, it's still slowly creeping up. Guests will leave when they run out of money or they become exhausted and can't replenish their energy. So I mean, unless they are buying a bunch of hot dogs or something, or they buy more than one umbrella, which I don't think they ever do, there's really not that much of a reason for guests to leave, since almost all of them are coming in with enough money to buy the park entrance and an umbrella and some food. Some of them, you know, if you come in with $60 and you have enough for the entrance fee and the umbrella, and that's basically it. I mean, it's still going up, $14.75. So I guess we're probably okay. I'm going to start paying back the loan, just so I can maybe try to get the company value out of the gutter. But if this turns into a thing where it is still, you know, like September, and it's hovering around $1,450 to $1,500, then we're going to have to start building some more stuff. But yeah, I think we can probably pretty safely go ahead and do our end of episode fun stuff here. You know the drill. I like playing this game because I like playing this game. The videos do not do as well as the Timberborn videos, and that's totally fine because, you know, people just for some reason are really rabid about the Beaver game. But I know there is the audience for these videos because you guys keep showing up and watching them, and I'm having such a fun time doing them. And that is thanks to the Beard Boosters, of course. You see their names on the screen. Subsidizing the channel every month, making it possible to do a little bit of ignoring on the algorithm and, you know, do stuff that maybe isn't quite as popular, but it's still fun, still worthwhile. So I do really appreciate those folks for that, and of course, you guys for watching these videos. But that being said, it's about time to come out of this time lapse here and figure out what stuff is looking like at the end of this scenario. All right, there you have it. We managed to do it with a company value of negative $76,287, but we paid back a decent bit of the loan, and we got our 1,500 guests with the park rating of at least 600. So that's about the best we can do. So I had fun with this one. I do wish there was a little bit more of a challenge with the loan interest, but hey, we made it work. So let's pop our name in the chart, and that is going to be all she wrote for this one. As always, really appreciate you watching these videos. Whatever it is you're doing with the rest of your day, stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you very soon for more beaver fun and for more roller coaster fun. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.